Ever feel like you're caught in a paradox? You crave freedom, that exhilarating sense of limitless possibility, yet the world throws up endless shoulds and can'ts. Why does this happen? Are you truly free, or just navigating a carefully constructed illusion? Philosophy, at its core, is about questioning everything. It's about daring to challenge the accepted norms and uncovering the deeper truths that shape our lives. What if the freedom you seek isn't about breaking free from all constraints, but understanding the constraints that actually enable true freedom? Kant, the 18th century philosopher, thought a lot about this. He believed genuine liberty isn't doing whatever you want, but acting according to principles you rationally choose. This framework, called the categorical imperative, can transform how you make decisions and live your life. Are you ready to unlock a new perspective on freedom, one that empowers you to live more ethically and authentically? This exploration offers a path to navigate the complexities of modern life. You'll gain practical insights to balance your desires with your responsibilities to yourself and others. Discover how Kant's seemingly complex ideas can lead to profound personal transformation. We often hear about freedom as the ultimate goal, the right to choose without limits. But what happens when those choices harm others or even ourselves? Society struggles with this tension constantly, from debates over free speech to the ethics of technological advancements. The challenge is navigating this landscape while staying true to our values. Kant entered this discussion during the Enlightenment, an era that emphasized reason and individual rights. Yet, he saw a danger in pure individualism. He argued that without a guiding moral framework, freedom can become a destructive force. Think about a world where everyone acted solely on their desires, disregarding the consequences. Chaos would ensue. This is where Kant's philosophy becomes invaluable. It provides a framework for ethical decision-making applicable to every situation. By understanding his concept of the categorical imperative, we gain a tool to evaluate our actions, ensuring they align with universal moral principles. Our exploration aims to bridge Kant's profound ideas with the realities of everyday life. By grappling with this concept, you'll acquire a clearer sense of how to exercise your freedom responsibly, contributing to a more just and ethical world. Visual aid suggestion. A graphic contrasting freedom from. Eager to apply Kant's wisdom? Dive into the comments below and share your reflections. Your experiences and questions fuel vital discussions within our growing community. Subscribe now for more insightful philosophical frameworks, empowering you to navigate complex choices and build a more responsible, fulfilling life as we learn together. To grasp Kant's idea, let's break it down. The goal is to make ethical choices that could become universal laws. Not laws imposed by someone, but laws chosen by everyone through reason. The steps involve a bit of mental role-playing and honest self-assessment. First, identify the maxim behind your action. What's the underlying principle guiding your decision? For instance, I will lie to avoid embarrassment. Now, the critical step. Can you will that everyone lie to avoid embarrassment? Think about this. If everyone lied to avoid embarrassment, would anyone believe anything? Would trust exist? The answer is likely no. If the universal application of your maxim leads to contradiction or societal breakdown, it's ethically unsound. Kant believed that our inherent rationality allows us to recognize these contradictions. This isn't about following arbitrary rules. It's about respecting the inherent dignity of ourselves and others by acting in ways that promote a harmonious society. This principle applies to everyday dilemmas, from online interactions to environmental concerns. Visual aid suggestion. A flowchart illustrating the steps of applying the categorical imperative. We live in an era of unprecedented connectivity and rapid technological change. Social media algorithms amplify echo chambers, and AI raises ethical questions about bias and control. The gap between technological capability and moral reasoning is widening, creating a pressing need for ethical frameworks. This is the core problem. We have more power than ever before, but lack a clear compass to guide our choices. The rise of misinformation, the erosion of trust in institutions, and the increasing polarization of society demand immediate action. Kant's categorical imperative offers a potent tool to navigate these challenges. Understanding Kant now is crucial because it provides a structured approach to ethical dilemmas in the digital age. It empowers you to critically evaluate information, challenge biased algorithms, and advocate for responsible innovation. It is not enough to be technologically advanced. We must be ethically responsible. By grasping Kant's framework, you can move beyond impulsive reactions and contribute to a more just and equitable world. Learning about it equips you to navigate the complexities of modern life with intention and integrity. This is the urgent call for philosophical awareness. Kant's ethical framework rests on two key concepts: maxims and the categorical imperative. A maxim is simply a principle or rule guiding your actions. It's the why behind what you do. For instance, I will always prioritize my own needs, or I will help others in need. The categorical imperative, on the other hand, is a universal moral law that dictates what we ought to do, regardless of our desires. It comes in different forms, but the most famous is the formula of universal law. Act only according to that maxim, whereby you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law. Visual aid suggestion. Text overlay of the formula of universal law. Think about this. If your maxim is, I will cheat on my taxes to save money, can you honestly will that everyone cheat on their taxes? What would happen to society if no one contributed to public services? Clearly, such a system wouldn't be sustainable. Kant argues that our reason allows us to identify these contradictions. By reflecting on our maxims and considering their universal implications, we can determine whether our actions are morally justifiable. Does this make sense? By consistently applying the categorical imperative, we strive for universalizable actions, contributing to a more ethical society. Applying Kant's categorical imperative isn't always easy. One challenge is identifying our true maxims. We often rationalize our actions, masking selfish motives with noble justifications. How do we overcome this? Self-reflection and honest introspection are critical. Ask yourself, what are my underlying motivations? Another challenge is dealing with conflicting duties. What happens when two moral obligations clash? For example, the duty to be honest versus the duty to protect someone in danger. Kant acknowledges the complexity of such situations, emphasizing the importance of careful judgment and prioritizing the most universalizable maxim. Let's consider a practical example: online privacy. You're tempted to share a friend's embarrassing photo without their permission. Applying Kant, ask, can I will that everyone share embarrassing photos without consent? The answer is likely no. This would erode trust and violate individual dignity. Therefore, respecting your friend's privacy aligns with the categorical imperative, even if you find the photo amusing. By practicing this kind of ethical reasoning, we can make more responsible choices in all areas of our lives. A deeper application of Kant involves fully embracing his concept of humanity as an end in itself. This elevates ethical decision-making beyond simple rule-following to a profound respect for inherent worth and dignity of every individual. It requires seeing each person, including yourself, as having intrinsic value, not merely a tool to achieve a desired outcome. This shift significantly raises the ethical bar, challenging us to consider the impact of our actions on the well-being and autonomy of others. Consider the complex case of whistleblowing. An employee uncovers deeply unethical practices within their company, potentially harming countless individuals. Applying the categorical imperative demands weighing their duty of loyalty against the greater duty to uphold ethical principles and protect the public good from harm. Kant would likely argue that suppressing such critical information treats the public as a mere means to the company's financial profit and stability, directly violating their inherent worth and dignity. Therefore, whistleblowing, although inherently risky and fraught with potential personal consequences, might not only be ethically permissible but morally required. This pivotal example powerfully showcases the nuanced complexity, profound depth, and transformative power that embracing Kant's teachings can provide. Research in behavioral economics supports Kant's emphasis on reason over impulse. Studies show that individuals who engage in deliberative thinking, as Kant advocates, tend to make more ethical decisions even when faced with personal costs. This aligns with Kant's belief that true freedom lies in acting according to rational principles. Consider the Stanford prison experiment, though ethically controversial, highlighted the dangers of unchecked power and the ease with which individuals can treat others as mere means to an end. This experiment, even with its flaws, provides a stark example of what happens when ethical considerations are abandoned. Anecdotal evidence from ethicists and business leaders suggests that companies that prioritize ethical behavior guided by principles similar to Kant's often experience greater long-term success and stronger employee loyalty. This reinforces the idea that ethical behavior is not just morally right but also practically beneficial. These insights provide compelling reasons to embrace Kantian ethics. You might be wondering, Kant's philosophy seems compelling, but is it truly practical in our complex world? The answer is a resounding yes, but with commitment. Remember that ethical decision-making is an ongoing journey, not a destination. It necessitates constant self-awareness, rigorous self-reflection, and a genuine willingness to confront and challenge your own inherent biases. Some critics argue that Kant places an unrealistic emphasis on the power of reason, particularly given the undeniable influence of human emotions. However, robust research demonstrates that even subtle interventions designed to promote and encourage critical thinking can lead to tangible improvements in ethical behavior. For example, consider a compelling study published in the esteemed Journal of Business Ethics, which revealed that merely prompting employees to articulate and justify their decisions to their peers demonstrably reduced unethical conduct by a significant 20%. Ultimately, actively embracing Kant's profound philosophy isn't about striving to achieve an unattainable state of moral perfection. Instead, it's about wholeheartedly committing to living a more ethically conscious and responsible life, grounded in the powerful recognition that genuine freedom resides in thoughtfully aligning our actions with universalizable principles that promote the common good. We've journeyed through Kant's compelling philosophy, revealing how the categorical imperative serves as a potent framework for exercising responsible freedom. It compels us to engage in critical self-reflection, meticulously examining the potential repercussions of our actions on those around us and society as a whole. Consistently applying this rigorous framework empowers us to navigate complex ethical dilemmas with heightened clarity, unwavering integrity, and profound moral conviction. Your immediate next step is to actively integrate the categorical imperative into your daily decision-making processes. Begin by consciously applying it to seemingly insignificant choices, gradually progressing towards tackling more intricate and ethically challenging scenarios. Furthermore, actively share your personal experiences, insightful observations, and hard-earned lessons with others, thereby cultivating a supportive community dedicated to ethical reflection and mutual growth. By wholeheartedly embracing this transformative framework, you'll not only enrich your own life by living in greater alignment with your values, but you'll also contribute to building a more just, compassionate, and ethically sound world for generations to come. What concrete actions will you commit to taking today to embody a more responsible and ethically driven life? Please share your reflections and intentions in the comments section below and let us continue this vital discussion together. Kant's enduring philosophy serves as a powerful reminder that freedom is not merely a license for unrestrained action. Rather, it constitutes a profound responsibility. Genuine liberation lies not in the unfettered pursuit of personal whims and desires, but in the conscious and deliberate choice to act ethically. guided by the illuminating power of reason and a deeply ingrained respect for the inherent dignity and worth of all individuals. Think deeply about this fundamental truth. Each and every decision you make, regardless of how seemingly inconsequential it may appear on the surface, possesses the inherent capacity to subtly yet significantly shape the world around you, leaving an indelible mark on the fabric of society. By actively embracing the core tenets of Kant's timeless teachings, you transform yourself into a proactive and engaged participant in the ongoing creation of a more just, compassionate, and ethically sound society, contributing to positive change one thoughtful and deliberate choice at a time. Remember that the transformative journey of philosophical exploration is a continuous and never-ending process characterized by perpetual growth and profound self-discovery. Therefore, commit yourself to relentlessly questioning, actively seeking knowledge, and fearlessly challenging your pre-existing assumptions. Embrace the lifelong quest for wisdom and allow Kant's enduring insights to illuminate your path, guiding you towards a more meaningful, purposeful, and ethically responsible life.
Subscribe to never miss the next chapters of this quiet revolution. Leave your disagree or agree in the comments. Debate is the soul of thought. Share this video with someone who dares to question the obvious.